What up and welcome back to another Ramblings in the Basement. It's your boy Theory.
Ivan Cito.
And we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of random things, but we have a topic in mind.
In a way.
Then I feel like we're just gonna probably talk just to chat.
We're rambling.
Yeah, we're rambling today, but we have a topic as well.
A general topic.
In general.
You
have to find out the title when you see.
So, there's something you wanted to start off with?
Well, I guess the whole idea of now we have to say the topic.
Because the only reason I'm asking you if you want to start is because I've had this rant kind of pent up for like a week about some shit, but it's kind of a little off topic. It's like related to the topic, but it's not related to the topic. So I was like, that's why I was like, you want to start it off so I don't like start off topic?
Sure. Mine was talking about the whole situation with them changing like brands. Trying
to make everything woke, right?
Woke, yeah.
And so going to
I guess the way what I mean about woke is the people that get offended about something that was like, I guess you could say history, because it is history, part of history, and because they don't like it, they want to get rid of it. Even though sometimes it was like it's not just blacks, it's like Asians and it was Hispanics and all that. Like they would change it to what the people are complaining about. There's not enough. I mean, where there's too much of white stuff. Yeah. They change it into something that's a white person, which I don't care a little bit, but like it does matter to where you're fighting for what you want, but they're doing the people are doing the opposite of what you want, and you're still happy with what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah. So like, you give examples. I feel like so.
Let's say the whole there's a pancake one. I think
Aunt Jemima.
Jemima, yeah.
Jemima. Some people say Jemima.
Yeah. So what it is?
I don't know how it's pronounced.
It was a black grandma or old lady, which used to be a slave supposedly. Used to be a slave, and then became into like an Annie or mammy. I don't know if that's something bad back then. I don't know.
So yeah, people were saying it's like a racist portrayal. Like they're portraying her in a racist stereotype.
And the whole other thing is supposedly uncle and aunt. The reason why they call them uncle and aunt is because supposedly white people didn't want to call them Mrs. or Mr. So they call them uncle and aunt.
Well, I don't know. Even if that's true, you can't get hung up on stupid shit like that. Like it's in the past, bro. Don't cling on to the past just to play victim.
So pretty much then, from what that is they got offended by it, and they took it down because they're like, oh yeah, this is racist, this is all this, like we don't want this. But I feel like at the end of the day too, it's still like representing something like that happened. Like
she was a real person.
She was a real person, and that's something that she ended up becoming like an actual brand. But at the end of the day, it depends on who's actually running it too.
Depends who you ask too. Some people are saying that the company just wanted to get rid of her so they didn't have to pay the family.
She was I don't know what it was. I had the thing too.
But yeah, she's not the only one. Also, it was also I think Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben, yeah.
They wanted to get rid of Speedy Gonzalez, but the Mexicans weren't having it. We said, nah, bring him back.
We actually like him.
Y'all gotta stand up for yourselves, bro. Speak up. I feel like that's all it is. Y'all gotta speak up, cause you can't let them be taken over. They talk about representation in media, and then they take away the actual representation. It's like you can't have it both ways. They only want representation that's representing them in the light that they want them. Like they don't want the real representations that's actually there. Like they want to make up representation that's not real, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so now with the actual the auntie Jemima, whatever it's called, Pearl Milling Company. So that's what they're called. They call it now.
Like they try to force. What was it like in the Little Mermaid, where it's like they try to force black people into roles where it's like that doesn't even make sense. Because like the story was always Little Mermaid, she's a redhead, and it's not even like I don't care so much about the race, but why do you have to change the character? It's like it to me it just feels forced. Like you don't even care so much about the character. You're just trying to steal someone that like a character that already has a big following, and then just trying to put your woke ideology into it so you can push that onto people. And I think I mean a lot of people see it that way too. It's like if you're taking a character that everybody likes, everyone's expecting that character that everyone already likes to stay the same. Nobody wants you to take that character and then just change them up completely. And going on that, actually, this was kind of part of the rant, another rant that I kind of told Diana about it, and she agreed with me, which was I was surprised because she's a feminist, but even she agrees that like the whole thing. I don't know if you've been watching the news with the Avatar, the live action version,
No.
but apparently they're saying they're gonna get rid of Sokka's sexist comments because Sokka he makes sexist jokes. And I don't disagree with them. He does make sexist jokes,
But they're funny.
but I don't agree that they should take it out. And I think Diana agreed with me. So as at least that's what she appeared to agree. You know, I can't really read her mind, but she seemed to be agreeing that two things. First of all, the main thing that everyone's talking about is that's his whole character arc. Is he starts off making sexist jokes, but then he meets the
girl that like
the warriors, and then he learns to respect them. He's like, okay, maybe girls can fight, and he starts having more respect for girls, and that's like his whole character arc. He grows and changes as a person, right? That's the whole thing that everyone was talking about on the internet. But
Yeah,
also,
that is true.
like that's his whole
Yeah,
character
that
arc.
is true. It is. But that's how he starts, and then you're right. He meets that girl, and his whole thing, his whole attitude changes because he technically becomes one of them too.
Yeah, he learns their fighting
Their
style.
fighting ways.
But like that's his whole character arc. So like you take that away from him, and you're taking away his whole arc. But on top of that, I also pointed out whenever he makes sexist jokes, I feel like if you don't want people to be sexist, you leave that shit in. Because I was watching the show, and like every time he makes a sexist joke, he's the only one saying that shit. Everyone else in the show is like, okay. And like he just ends up looking like he just ends up being the butt of the joke because he always ends up being wrong. Like he'll make a sexist joke to like Katara, he'd be like, girls can't fight. And then she starts waterbending and like proves him wrong, and then he just looks like a dumbass. So it's like, if you're taking that out of the show, you're not showing people that it's like, this is what happens when you start talking like an arrogant, dumbass. It's like you embarrass yourself. So you kind of have to leave that shit in there. Like if you really want, people to see. And I'm not even like a feminist like that, defending, and saying like, okay, he's sexist, so it's like you shouldn't, leave that in. But if you like, I don't know, I just feel it seems counterproductive to me. Like if you really want people to not be sexist, you leave that in there to show that he changed and everything. To me, when I see that, I think what they're really trying to do is just make people soft. And that's what I think really is really all of this goes down to.
Making them so, yeah, because then they get offended by everything.
Yeah.
Because then they're not used to seeing it, or they don't hear or whatever until they just get
Ultimately, I feel like that's what all of this leads back to. Like even the Aunt Jemima thing, even like the Uncle Ben. So I think it's all
The
about just making
Redskins too?
Yeah, the Redskins too. Like
okay, so I don't know if I was reading it right.
Speaking of that, yeah, go ahead.
So I don't know if I was reading it right, but when they first made the Redskins or the Commanders, it was named the Commanders for like a year, and then after that they changed it to the Redskins. The whole story about the Redskins is going back to, it was supposed to be for the Native Indians,
Yeah.
or native indigeny, whatever.
Indigenous.
Indigenous. But like, supposedly it was supposed to be a captain from a tribe that an artist did.
Yeah, it was a real guy.
Yeah, so like everything is like all these are like actual real people.
You know what's crazy? Go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, but pretty much they when they removed it, the people that what is called, the people that like the natives, they got upset by it because it was an actual tribute to like their chief, and like them taking it off, they got offended more. They got more offended by that than them having it on, because at the end of the day, it wasn't bad. Yes, it's called the Redskins, but like.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You're spot on, actually. So yeah, the chief of the actual tribe that it was supposed to represent, he came out like when they took him out, when he took off when they changed the name and everything, and he was saying that they should have kept it on, because what he was saying was supposed to represent them. It's supposed to be like in a prideful thing. It was supposed to be something prideful, and they kind of just took that away from them. So again, I feel like this just goes back to like they're trying to make people soft. 100%, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, because then they changed it to the Washingtons, and then if it's true, they just change it back to the Commanders. So, but I feel like the Washingtons would have been still fine.
I think the Redskins was fine.
I think the Redskins was. I mean, I still call them the Redskins, but even though they're not called Redskins, but I still call them. People know.
That's what they are.
And so pretty much. From there, I mean, you're not gonna see it called Redskins no more, though, and like the actual.
But to be honest, it doesn't even matter because a lot of people stopped giving a fuck about NFL altogether.
Dude, okay, going to the Super Bowl is gonna be next week. People are saying, wait, this is the episode. This is the episode that what is called is gonna go next week, right?
Yep.
So you're gonna see what is called. Supposedly there's a script that I think the Kansas was going to win 24-14.
It's the Chiefs versus the 49ers, right?
Yeah. So I think, is it? Yeah. So the 49ers was the San Francisco. I don't know which one it is. I thought it was Kansas, or it starts with.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
No, I think it is though. 49ers, I don't know if the 49ers are technically the. Are they 49ers, are those San Francisco?
I don't know.
See, I don't know.
I don't watch football.
I don't either. But so this is here. I'm gonna look it up. Super Bowl. I know.
But have you heard the conspiracy theory that people are spreading around about Taylor Swift and the NFL?
Yeah.
How they're basically saying that they're using her to get more views.
Really?
Because a lot of.
Yo, that makes okay.
What?
Keep going.
So people were saying that her, because she's dating one of the football players.
Yeah.
And so they keep showing apparently a lot of clips of her at the game, and like to the point where some people are even getting upset because they're saying they're showing her in the stands more than like gameplay. I don't fucking know because I don't watch that shit, so I'm just going by the words of what people are complaining. But they're saying that they're showing her way too much to the point where even the guy that she's dating made it like a comment about it where like, yo, they're showing her way too much. So they gotta focus more on the game.
Okay, the Chiefs versus the 49ers.
It is the Chiefs versus the 49ers.
So the Chiefs is what? The Kansas City.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying. So continue. I'll finish my.
You know the only reason I knew that is because I saw, and literally in the beginning of the year, there's a meme. It's not even a meme. It was just a screenshot of the news that was already saying that it was gonna be the Chiefs versus the 49ers at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's everyone was saying like, yo, this is scripted.
Yeah, because even in the soccer games from Mexico, it shows, hey, this is Friday 11th. This is gonna be the Super Bowl. Keep saying it.
And they kept saying like before we were supposed to even know who made it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
That's what people were saying like this shit's scripted. Because it was already saying Chiefs versus 49ers.
So this is true. I'm gonna place a bet too to see if it actually does. But the whole thing is that the Kansas City's, who does he play for? The Chiefs?
I think. I don't know.
If he does, supposedly what's gonna happen is the Kansas City is gonna win supposedly 24-14, and then after that, after the whole thing, they're gonna go to the guy that I guess is dating Taylor Swift is gonna go, and then it's gonna be a proposal at the end.
Yeah,
Or either
I've heard of that.
at the end or during second half. Either or. I don't know which one it was, but I think it's at the end.
Halftime.
Yeah, either or. And that's how supposedly what people are thinking. Those are people's predictions this year for the Super Bowl. Because like you said, people are saying it feels like it's scripted.
I think it
But
is.
then again, people have been saying that's going to be scripted. Every football is scripted because the reason why I say that is there is like during every time there's like the trophy or whatever where they show the NFL Super Bowl, they always have like the colors of the pretty much who's gonna be in the final before anything's even like the final's even gonna be there.
I don't know how true this is because again, this is just like a screenshot that someone posted, but I think somewhere it said like the NFL actually admitted where it's like they're saying it's just for entertainment. It's like not actual
Football.
like yeah.
That's why people like a lot of colleges more because that's probably actually is football.
But like I said, I don't know how true that is. I just saw a screenshot. But I would believe it, to be honest, because I think once they get to that, like they care more about the entertainment value. Whereas like I don't know if you saw that one video that's going around talking about Mr. Beast faking his videos. But like I understand why people do shit like that, where they're saying like he supposedly kept, I think it was Logan Paul, one of the Paul brothers. It was like a contest, and he supposedly kept one of the Paul brothers because he's more popular. So he's like, he's gonna get more views and shit like that. So I feel like it's the same idea with sports, where it's like they.
What do you mean?
So it was supposedly it was like a contest, and it was like a bunch of YouTubers, and this girl was coming out saying she was supposed to win, she was supposed to get third place, but instead they gave it to Logan Paul. I think it was Logan Paul. I don't remember. I remember it was one of the Paul brothers. I'm pretty sure it was Logan, but I don't know for sure. It could have been Jake. Point is, they gave it to the Paul brother instead. And people were saying, or like conspiracy theories were coming up, and they're saying it's because he has a bigger following, and he was just trying to like, get more views for the thing. And I mean, I think like it kind of is that mentality that I feel like people take.
What was her reasoning? Like, what did she say?
Well, she said she won. It was her and someone else, I think, but they picked two different people for like top, second, and third place.
Okay.
And it was supposedly it was like two more popular, like YouTubers that were more popular, and like the whole point was like he's just trying to make it as entertaining as possible, like trying to get as much views. So it was more like what would get more views instead of what's real. I don't know.
It makes. I feel like I can believe that.
I'm not here accusing Mr. Beast of that. I'm just saying I feel like that mentality is what people take with sports, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it was with sports too. Where it's like if people realize like, oh, this team has a really big following, and then this team over here, if we put these two teams against each other, then a lot of people are gonna watch. And I feel like that's what they're trying to do because people are trying to set up a rivalry with Taylor Swift's boyfriend, and there's another dude where they're saying like, oh, he needs to beat him, and they're trying to set up a rivalry with it.
What the fuck?
I don't remember who it was.
I mean, I feel like for the Mr. Beast and all that, I feel like it makes sense because even if people do it, it's not like they don't. I think still get money out of everything because even them just going there, they still get blessed with whatever.
You still get money, I think.
You still get blessed with money that you probably could have not got. Someone else could have got it.
Of a lifetime too.
Yeah, for real. But if you got out, if you're the first ones to get out, shit, that sucks. But at least you got to experience it.
Yeah. But yeah, I 100% believe that games are rigged because I think they're more worried about making more money. At the end of the day, viewership equals money. So whoever gets more views was gonna get the more money.
People thought the World Cup was rigged.
I think it is too. To be honest, I think that's why a lot of refs have such shitty take, like a lot of shitty calls. You see that shit all the time. They're like trying to rig it.
No, definitely the World Cup was.
Because you see like the shittiest calls, bro.
This World Cup was, I'm not gonna lie, was pretty bad.
I know, bro.
This World Cup was pretty bad. As like football, like an actual football that actually likes watching football, and like the actual how everything is. It's not the same as it used to be like back then. They're changing the rules so much. They're making it like it's like they're making the game not fun to watch no more.
Yeah.
They're like it kind of sucks.
Like once you see it, you realize like, oh shit, yeah, that because you notice like some calls just don't make sense sometimes, and you see the footage and then you play it back and you're like, nah, and he's like, nah, that ref is tripping.
Yeah. That's why like, but there is some refs too that actually.
There's some good refs.
Yeah, good refs that are not corrupt sometimes. I mean, it's showing because there's times where I know damn well it's only because of Barcelona they got caught paying the ref certain year to this year they got caught. So, but I'm not saying they're the only ones. I'm sure there's others that are probably paying the refs, but they don't really like.
I'm gonna be honest.
They haven't got caught.
I'm gonna be honest with you. We're gonna go full Alex Jones mode. I think what?
Alex Jones?
Alex Jones?
Who's that?
Crazy conspiracy theorist.
Oh, okay.
Look him up. You probably recognize his face. I think a lot of these refs that are rigging games, they're probably Freemasons, to be honest.
Is it this guy?
Yeah.
I think
Why'd you Google in Spanish? You in Mexico?
Yeah. yeah, I know who this is. We'll go continue.
Nah, but yeah, I think a lot of them are just Freemasons, to be honest. Because that's the whole strategy that Freemasons say. Like they're open about it. They'll always say like they try to get people into positions of power, and if they don't have someone in a position of power in an industry that they want, they will start recruiting in that industry.
What do you mean by recruiting?
So like let's say there's like a police, like a county where like the police aren't corrupted, right? Like there's no Freemasons in there. They'll start trying to recruit like the cops that are in there.
Oh.
They're trying to recruit their way up to the top, or find someone to work their way up to the top. So they try to have people at the top, like positions of power where they can control things. They're open about that. They say that all the time.
It makes sense because I mean you could do this. We could do the same thing too.
Yeah, you can. Like I said before in another episode, the Freemasons' biggest strength is just that they're a massive network and they just have connections with so many people. And like I said, they put people in positions of power so they can do whatever the fuck they want. And that's what like I was just watching a documentary about, and this is like the type of shit that they get away with is there's in this county there's a group of criminals that have so much power that there's a guy reporting on it, an investigative journalist, and he's reporting on it, and they told him, and they started sending him death threats to take down the videos.
Really?
And he went to the cops, and the cops,
they didn't do anything.
They're scared of him because of that shit like that. Because once you have like control, that much control, and if you think about it like that, like where they have people in positions of power, or they're paying them off, if they have money too.
Dude, you can buy a hitman.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
You can buy a hitman.
Yeah, you can. They're expensive, but you could.
Because sometimes when if it's a certain person that's not that important, they'll do it for cheap.
That's crazy.
They'll do it for cheap, but if it's like an important person, like an actual, like really important person, that's when they actually pay people a lot of more. Like yeah, they have a higher price.
Well, it depends. Some hitmen straight up won't do it, but
that is true. That is true.
Because some hitmen have limits, but it all depends on who you find.
Some don't like to kill kids, but some never killed kids.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually what. Because there was a time when I was interested in that type of shit. When we were recording over there in that corner. When not even that I was interested, but that was when we did the black market episode.
Oh.
I did a lot of research for that episode, and I found a lot of hitman interviews. And that's what a lot of them would say is like there'd be a lot of people that would be a lot off limits. Is kids would usually be off limits for most hitmen, and important people politicians, celebrities, people that would get too much attention. Like if they killed them, it would get too much attention. I feel like that one's for their own protection. Because if you kill a big ass celebrity, everyone's gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, that everyone's gonna be paying attention, bro. Yeah. And now you got everyone looking for you. Whereas like someone not that important.
But they wouldn't know who it is if depending on how you killed them.
Yeah. But I mean, with a celebrity, people look into that shit.
Yeah.
If it's a mysterious death, people look into that shit.
You're not wrong.
And not even just celebrities, with politicians, especially with politicians. Shit.
Politicians, yeah. Because at the end of the day, I feel like the politicians are the ones that buy hitmen or buy something, or even like the.
Dude, if you're gonna talk about politicians that buy hitmen, Hillary Clinton, bro, that bitch got bodies to her name.
Really? I can see that. Fucking Clinton.
We can't say for allegedly. We
can't really.
We don't want them coming after us.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, she has like a lot of friends that have mysteriously died. Oh shit, my mic fell.
The mysteriously died, probably like Jeffrey Epstein.
Like Jeffrey, a lot of people were thinking that she was involved, her or Bill Clinton, because he was on the. I think Bill Clinton was in the list.
Yeah.
I think people were saying he was involved in Jeffrey's death. And I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either. Yo, so
some people think he's not. My mic keeps fucking falling.
Get a better mic.
They don't want me to talk. It's a show.
Okay, you know how we talked about the whole cyber attack thing?
Yeah.
The last podcast?
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Speaking of like that shit, you remind me of something, but go ahead. I'll say it after.
So the whole thing I was talking about was there's a movie that came out about it with Obama and everything. And then...
When does it come out?
What?
It already came out, right?
What?
That movie?
The Leave the World Behind? Yeah.
We need to watch it.
I already seen it, but I'll watch it again. But pretty much when that came out too, a whole other thing happened too, where I think it was a state, I forgot what state it was, Hawaii, and a different other state that got hacked. Like their gas station, everything got hacked. And I think that's the same, I think that might have been the time where what is called Virginia.
It wasn't even just Virginia. It was the whole East Coast.
The East Coast?
Well, I don't think it was the whole East Coast, but it was a good part of the East Coast because it was Virginia, Maryland. There's I think some places in Carolina. North Carolina.
So I don't know what happened. I think people say the gas pipes got hacked, and suppose they were gonna cut the gas.
So from what I had heard, it wasn't that. I mean, yeah, technically they got hacked, but more specifically, from what I had heard, they had put actual ransomware. Which basically what ransomware is they put everything behind an encryption wall. Basically means you have to put a password to have access to that shit.
Oh.
And you have to pay them for them to give it back. And that's what ended up happening is they ended up just paying the ransom.
Oh, so they hacked it, and pretty much now that they hacked it, they pretty much like, I'll give you the thing back if you just give me this much.
Yeah.
And they give them that. But can't they still find them and then arrest them for that?
So, yeah.
Okay. I was wondering because
technically they could have, if they really wanted to, they could have probably found a way around it. But they were losing a lot of money with having that shit shut down. Or I think
not the gas stations.
They were making a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah, everybody went that day to go get gas. People were filling up buckets with gas.
Bro, that shit was a disaster.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Imagine how that shit is. But like nobody was like, I'll say this. Nobody was like, yo, fuck you, pa pa pa. Like at least where we were at, no one was aggressive. Nobody was there. People were just.
There's a long line.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, fuck it. But like I feel like, I don't know if this is why sometimes I still have hope. Where sometimes I feel like we we can come to as a community.
Well,
I believe we
I'm
can.
gonna be honest. I think we can,
but I feel like a lot of people are just gonna worry about themselves.
Shit has gotten worse since then.
I feel like
shit wasn't as bad back then either.
I feel like it's just the city though. If you're in the city, don't go there. The communities in the city will probably not be the best.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think it's a local problem. I think locally we can get along. The problem is we from the East Coast are not getting along with California and their bullshit laws. It's just like that's where I feel like I see the Civil War kind of issue coming up. Whereas like we locally, like we don't have problems with like our local, like even the most radical leftist in this area is not that leftist. Like they're not that crazy. But in California, I don't see myself agreeing with a lot of those people. As long and I don't have a problem with living with them. They have a problem with living with us. To be honest, they see us as problems. I feel like, and
I feel like once you go more south, it'll get more territorial, depending. And remember, because there's farmers, so farmers will probably help others. And that's what I'm saying. We still have our land is still good to be able to plant things. We have good soil. So there's no reasons for us to go crazy, because even if anything does happen, we can still grow our own shit. We just gotta make enough food for all of us to eat during the winter.
Yeah. I mean,
but that's really doable too.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Ever since last week when we saw the news with the border and all that, I haven't been keeping up with that shit. People are saying they might have a civil war.
Oh yeah.
I'm really hoping we don't. Obviously.
We're talking about revolution. You comment on that too.
Yeah. But I don't know. I really hope it doesn't come to that, obviously. But if it does.
What is it? Why do you say Trump? Oh.
I don't know, but if it does escalate to that, I just hope that the majority of people will come to realize that it shouldn't be a civil war. Like we said before, it should be more of a revolution. I think, and this kind of goes to the rant that I was kind of holding back on the beginning. We'll get into it now, I guess. Is and I'm sure you agree with this, Yvonne. Is
you can hit it if you want. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm just trying to look for this.
I think. How do I even begin with this? I feel like the Freemasons, for lack of a better word, the Illuminati, the elites, they're trying to push everything through that they want through Democrats. And I don't say this to be like, I know people hear that and they're like, oh, Republicans, they have this victimhood agenda where they think everything's against them. And I don't think that I think it applies to both sides. But if you actually pay attention to politics, and I don't know how much you pay attention to actual government, but a lot of Republican representatives, they don't really vote Republican. A lot of them will vote for Democratic, for Democrat stuff. They'll vote Democrat. Mm-hmm. So when Republicans complain about the system being rigged against us, we feel like we're not being represented at all by our own representatives. And when I say this applies to both sides, I mean Democrats don't necessarily agree with what their politicians vote for either. But
it's crazy because sometimes when they do pass a law or try to pass a bill, they try to sneak things in. Where some of the the people that vote for it, they vote for what they say, some of the things, but then they try to add a little sneak thing that people don't know, because sometimes they don't really read
Yeah.
everything into it, and they're like, yo, why did this happen? And they'll be like, oh, you agreed to it either way. That's why we're coming back to, like, they're trying to make it where it's not like so many pages, or you limited the pages.
That's a good bill.
Yeah, that is a good bill.
That's a great bill. I think everyone should be able to read it in like a couple pages. That way, everyone can read it and actually decide on what they want to vote. Because a lot of times it'll be hundreds of pages, and the representatives have a couple days to read it. The people that are supposed to be making these historically changing decisions, like these changes, like these decisions change the history of our country. Like this really, these are big decisions, and they have to read these like sometimes like 600-page bills in like a matter of like 3 days. You really think they're sitting down and reading all that shit? Most of our fucking politicians are doing coke. And
Honestly, yeah, they
like,
probably
like they're not reading that shit. Let's be honest.
a lot of people that like politicians, a lot of people or people that work with
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going. I'm just saying because I was great because the whole coke they you find all these people, but you really don't think they're doing all this kind of shit.
They are. They found coke in the White House, and they don't know whose it is. They have fucking cameras everywhere in the White House. I feel like, to be honest, and there's a lot of people think it's probably Hunter Biden's. We already know he does that shit. He probably fucking went to go visit his dad and left his drugs there because he's a fucking crackhead, dumbass. And now they found that shit, and now they're trying to act like, oh, we don't know who it is. Motherfucker, y'all could find out if you wanted to.
Huh.
Like, dead ass, it's the White House. You gonna act like you don't have enough security to find out who's bringing in drugs?
For real,
But
like,
you could track down every single person that was there in January 6th, which, by the way, that's entrapment, 100%. If you actually go back and look at the videos, there's actual videos of cops waving people in, inviting them into the White House, and now they're going around arresting them. That's actual entrapment. That should be illegal. That is illegal. I don't know why they're in jail right now. That's actual entrapment. If the cops are opening the doors for you, holding the doors open you, telling you to come in, and then you get arrested for that shit, that's actual entrapment. That's illegal.
is it?
100%. That's straight up. The cops are trapping you. They're tricking you into committing a crime. That's not even a crime. The only crime was some people did vandalize. I'm not gonna disagree that they should go to jail, but shit, they killed a girl. To be honest, Ashley Babbitt, they killed her.
Excuse me, fuck. The hell?
And they were saying, some people were saying she deserved to die because she was breaking into the White House.
Wait, why did she get killed? How did she get killed?
Cop shot her. So if there's an actual video of it too, it's all on video. That's why I'm saying, like, the White House has cameras everywhere.
What is it? Who was it?
Ashley Babbitt.
Add. Like that?
No.
I. Oh, bad vid. Okay.
You know what really pisses me off is that we know now too that the FBI was involved in this shit. They instigated this shit.
Well, Leslie, despite the chaos that we witnessed at the U.S. Capitol yesterday, we still saw some Trump supporters.
We know. Well, we don't know. We don't have definitive evidence, but hold on, pause it real quick. You want?
Yeah, I'm fine. Go. What happened? You told me to pause.
So, in Michigan, in the state of Michigan, I don't know if you heard, there was a group of people that were plotting to kidnap the Governor Whitmore. That's the governor at the time. I don't know if she's still governor. I think she is. But the point is, there was a group of people that got together and they were gonna kidnap her.
You said the governor for who was
For
it?
Michigan.
Michigan? Okay.
When they got arrested and they got to court, the people that were in court, they got acquitted. Basically what that means is that they got found not guilty.
Okay.
The reason being because they declared that to be entrapment. Entrapment because the group of people that planned to kidnap her, most of them were FBI agents. So FBI agents were getting normal people, trying to trick them into committing crimes. Which just backs up the theories that a lot of people think the FBI set up these false flags to try to make people seem like they're bad guys so they can have an excuse to arrest them. And I think we've been finding evidence that there was FBI agents involved in January 6th. There was a guy named Ray Epps. I don't know if you heard of him. He was a guy, everyone knew he was a Fed. If you watch videos of January 6th, he's the one going around talking about, oh, let's storm the Capitol. He's trying to instigate. And everyone around him is recording, like, hey, he's a Fed. Everyone knew. He's trying to get people to be violent. He's trying to instigate. FBI's going around, so now they're going around arresting everyone that was involved in January 6th. Anyone that was just there.
But he didn't get arrested.
He didn't get arrested. And no reason why. No, they don't want to explain why. And when they asked, because there was a court proceeding, they're trying to find out if the FBI was involved. They asked one of the directors of the FBI if there was any FBI agents. And all he would say was, we can't answer that. He wouldn't answer if there was FBI agents or not. He just said we can't disclose that information.
Can't they do that legally?
They shouldn't. If they're asking you a question in court, you should answer it. That should not be like a thing where you should be like, nah. And to be honest, that kind of pisses me off that a lot of people can do that, because that's exactly what's happening with the court case. Because I don't know if you saw the actual Jeffrey Epstein documents that we talked about. I actually started reading through some of them. There's like 900 pages. That's just long as fuck. But I started reading through it, and a lot of it is just like the actual court scripts and like what was happening in the court case with his wife, I guess. I don't know if they're actually married, but just Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
It was basically, a lot of it was just the court, and most of it was her just saying, I don't know, I can't answer. And bro, that shit was pissing me off. She wasn't answering anything. And I was like, bro, like,
but why can't she, like?
I was like, legally, you shouldn't be able to do that.
I thought you can only do that when you're with the police. Like, you plead the fifth.
So the reason that she was able to get away with doing that shit was because it was sexual. So she was saying for her own privacy, as like her own legal privacy protection. But I think when it's come to this scale where you're running a worldwide human trafficking ring, I feel like you lost your right to privacy, bro. Like, you kind of lost your right to privacy at that point. Like, we know she's guilty. She's involved with it.
That is true.
It's just like,
your husband.
We're just trying to find out how involved she was at this point.
But she doesn't want to talk about it.
And
that's just showing that she was really involved in it. But let me see this up.
oh, I'm not gonna lie.
This is her?
Yeah. I think this year, after the elections, once the election results come out, shit is gonna hit the fan.
That's crazy, bro.
It is. It is crazy. She didn't deserve to die. She didn't deserve to die. And some people were saying she did.
Nah, she did not.
Just because she was committing a crime. It's like, bro, how you guys say? And it's the same people. The shit that pissed me off was the same people that were saying she deserves to die. We're over here shouting, over here trying to support the George Floyd shit, because that happened in the same year when George Floyd died.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not saying either of them deserve to die, but he did it to himself because he overdosed on fentanyl. Whereas she didn't do anything to deserve that shit. She did nothing to deserve it. And I'm not saying he deserved it either, but he did it to himself, which is different. And I'm going back to the Texas shit now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this shit
Bro,
out.
another rant that I wanted to talk about, and I want to just go off on real quick is, you know what's crazy is when I first got into politics, this was before, when I was introduced to politics. I wasn't really into politics.
Yeah, look at this.
You know, like at school.
There's a picture of this with a American flag with a car. They printed immigration is good, invasion is bad.
Yeah, I agree with that. But when I was first introduced into politics, like at school, when they first started teaching you this shit, now I wasn't like really deeply involved in politics like that. I wasn't following anything like that. But I was mostly Democrat at the time. The reason being because I had this mentality of like being humanitarian, right? Like caring about humans and wanting what's best for humanity, right? That was the reason why I was more Democrat leaning at the time, right? Because Democrats have always had this stereotype of being like the more compassionate people, like the people that care more. And as I've grown older, I've kept that same mentality, and yet it's made me more Republican than Democrat. There's like this mentality of like wanting what's best for humanity and wanting what's best for like our society. I've always had that mentality, and yet the more involved I got with politics and the more I actually started paying attention, the more I realized it's actually the Republicans that want that shit more than Democrats, at least policy wise, which is what's best for society.
Yeah.
That's the reason I started as a Democrat, was because they always have the reputation of like, hey, like they always want what's best for humans.
You're right, pretty much. It's like they're more about like
they always have that reputation, and it pissed me off. Like when I had that realization, it's like, why do Democrats have that reputation when they actually don't give a fuck? They care more about showing that they care than actually caring, if that makes sense. Like they just want to make it seem like they care and get that idea across to you that they care more than actually taking care of you and making sure you're good, which I realize is something Republicans lean on more, is actually wanting to make sure that you're good. A good example would be like with the border, like we had said. Democrats will act like they care, and they're like, oh, we want people to be able to come into our country so they can live better lives. A lot of these people, and this was a documentary that I was actually watching the other day, a lot of these people that are coming into this border, because they're undocumented and they're here illegally, they can't rely on police. And you know what that means? People abuse the fuck out of them. People have them and working basically as slaves. They'll come in, they're working, the people that got them into the country, right? But this shit kind of pissed me off when I found out. It's a whole operation. So the cartels do this shit. Apparently China's doing this shit too.
What?
Where basically they'll have people come in, right? Like they help you come in. Like the coyotes, right?
Yeah.
You owe them a lot of money, right? You're in debt now because you owe them a fuck ton of money.
Like the other is going up to like 12,000 per person.
So these people come in, right? And they come in with a big ass debt, right? The same people that brought them in, the coyotes, they're like, hey, I have a job for you lined up. As soon as you get over here, we got this job. So they send them. This is all part of the same operation. They're all working together. The people, it's usually like at a farm. Say, okay, you get a job at a farm. Farm pays them very cheap. Always under a minimum wage. Why? Because they're illegal and they can't go to the cops. They don't know what the minimum wage is. And even if they do, who are they going to report it to? They're illegal. Nobody's going to help. So no one's going to help them.
A lot of people are scared to.
A lot of people abuse them because of that. Because they can't go to the cops and be like, yo, this guy is illegally paying me less than he should be. So they do that.
And they put fear in them.
And they put fear in them because they're, like I said, they're the ones that usually brought them in so that they can't, we got you here, we can get rid of you too. We can have you deported.
Or they can kill you.
Or they can kill you because, like I said, again, they're undocumented. Nobody's going to know if you're missing. The cops aren't even going to arrest the guy that kills you because they won't even find out that you're dead. Straight up. If the cops don't know you exist and they kill you, that's that. There's no consequences for them because cops never knew you existed in the first place. That's what really scares them, is that they know that these basically people that are the cartel, they can do whatever the fuck they want with them. And so that's why they end up working for cheap as wages, and they end up basically being slaves because they're constantly working to pay off this debt that they owe to the coyotes that got them here in the first place. And so basically, to the cartel, it's just a cheap way of bringing in slaves. But they sell it to you like, oh, we're going to get you into the country. We're going to get you into the United States. And these people come in thinking, oh, I have this great opportunity. They just tricked you into coming in as a slave.
What the heck? In December, the federal government recorded 302,000 encounters with unorganized migrants that recorded for a month.
Look it up. The same thing was happening with Chinese immigrants. There's a lot of Chinese immigrants coming in. They're working on weed farms I think it was in Oklahoma. They're working on wheat farms.
Look at this.
It's the same issue.
Look, in the end of the rally in Texas, part politic protest and part Christian revival attract the most modest. Because they know, bro. This is I'm telling you. People that do believe in God, they know this isn't right either.
It's not right. That's what I'm saying.
More like many of attendants were retired and had decided to make a trip almost spontaneous after having heard about it on social media and local news. And the people that did go down there, it was over here. It says campers, trucks, like cars, vans from South Dakota, North Carolina, Washington, Pennsylvania, all of them went down there. Like
all that to say, the Democrats, as much as they try to present you like they're the ones that care, the compassionate ones, this is the side that they don't show you. These people that are coming in for the American dream are coming in to be slaves. They're not actually getting the American dream that they want. That's why I believe that we should have the wall and let them come in legally. That way they're not being abused like that. They're not being taken advantage of. Because it goes like you said, the Christians, if you're with God, you see this shit.
Look. Because the people are tired of it, bro.
Like especially in Texas, because they see the actual bullshit.
Look, people are getting baptized too. That's crazy, bro.
I'm telling you, if you actually care about
make America great again.
Like I'm telling you,
defend the border.
If you're actually a humanitarian, you actually care about humans and society, you would actually be a Republican. You just look into it first. I know it seems because I feel like the media, because Democrats, I feel like they have so much control over the media. They've portrayed this idea where it's like Republicans are racist. Republicans hate, they hate immigrants. They hate everyone. They're just so full of hatred.
This is what when I said this gives me faith.
Look into it, bro. Look into it. Like, obviously, I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to like people out there.
This is what I'm saying though. This right here gives me faith that we as a country, like, there's still people that have like.
That gives me faith, and also whenever I see different religions coming together.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. I think whenever I see like the Muslims and
there was a picture too. There's a picture where it was like it's a meme where it's usually like three people. There's one like Spartan, like another guy and a different guy, and they look at each other like, I don't know what you're saying, but I know we're both agreeing. Like we like fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And it's pretty much like all their like religion, and it was all like what is called the LGBT, whatever that shit was over there. We're like, yo.
Yeah.
Cause we all know that's just
LGBT, bro. Don't get me started on them. I hate that group so much, and I'm not homophobic. I hate the group LGBT because here's the thing that I feel like the left and the Democrats have like mastered the art of making an actual group, like an actual political group, and then making people identify with that group. Like they do the same shit with BLM. If you say fuck BLM, all of a sudden some black people get offended. I'm not saying fuck black people, I'm saying fuck that organization, BLM. Same shit goes with LGBT. That's an actual political group. Like on top of the fact of being an idea. And so when I say fuck them, I mean fuck the actual group. Not even when that's gay. I don't have a problem with gay people. I have a problem with the LGBT trying to force that shit onto everything. That's just fucking annoying. Not only
Everything.
is it annoying,
Even to our kids.
not only is it annoying, it's like, it's like literally connect the dots. It literally always leads back to pedophilia. That shit, any LGBT shit always leads back to pedophilia. You look at the sexuality. Why are they teaching sexuality to kids? Because they want to connect that shit to what they're now calling MAPs, minor attracted people. They're trying to normalize pedophiles, and then they get all these little kids that are trying to figure themselves out. They get them into these forums, into these Discord servers. They get them talking about all their sexuality with grown-ass adults, and then these grown-ass adults are talking about sexuality with a little kid. They're minor attracted people. It all leads back to fucking pedophilia.
Most of them
bro.
are men, and then like 30% of it is like female. But most of them is like adult men. But like, if you really think about it too,
I'm gonna show you something. Go ahead.
it gets to the point where like you doing this to little kids, it's gonna cause it to where in the future it's gonna be more. Where it's gonna be okay. They're gonna make it legal to be like able to date younger people, like people like maybe like 15, 14. They're gonna make it okay to be able to be consent and all that. I feel like they're gonna try to push that.
I think they already did that in California.
Did they?
Yeah, I think something like that. Like they I have to look into that because I don't want to spread false news. But I remember hearing something about like in California, where I think it was like you have to be like 14 years old now to consent to an adult, which I obviously don't agree with. Fuck, where's it? Have you ever seen surgery videos of transgender people
Nah.
or like pictures?
Nah.
Bro, this shit pisses me off. Just because like I'm trying to show you, just one picture will be enough.
There is a YouTuber that I've seen that I've been like he's been popping up. That what it's called. What he does is like exposes and like finds people that are, like pedophilia. Like, but he actually finds people and
here
like
it is.
actually gets cops to like actually like arrest them.
Bruh, when you see this shit, this is the end goal, and maybe we could show the actual pictures. Bro, tell me that's not fucked.
What the fuck is that?
Tell me that's not fucked.
Wait, is that them taking it off or adding it?
That's a girl with a fake dick.
Oh, what
They had to peel skin off her leg, roll it up, make a
Oh.
fake. Tell me that's not fucked, bro. That's just one picture. Bro, tell me that shit's not fucked. And this is like, bro, these doctors are playing fucked up games with their patients. And then these people are fucked up for life and they're dependent on the medical industry forever. They're creating lifelong patients. That's all this is. These
so
people
cool.
depend on medicine now to you can't pee out of that shit. You need like a fucking bag now to like some tubes or something.
Really?
Whenever I see shit like that shit pisses me off. Cause I was just like, the medical industry is taking advantage of these people. And this is why it pisses me off whenever the people are like, oh, the Democrats, these are the compassionate people. The Democrats care. It's like, no, you don't. Look into that shit. See why Republicans are actually against that shit. It's fucked up what they're doing to these people. And they're trying to do that shit to little kids.
They're trying
to create lifelong patients. That's all it is.
They're trying to create kids
that are dependent on them.
they're trying to create that too. But they're trying to create kids to get used to all that, try to push it onto them. So when they do, they want to do it now, or they think they can do it. And now that they're making it, some states are making it illegal. If your kids want to do it, then you don't let them. It's illegal for that, and you can go to jail for that.
They're trying to take your kids away from you, bro. Straight up.
And
There are some states.
And the thing is, though, which is crazy, is technically they can't do anything by law until they're 18. You gotta do what your parents say by law till they're 18. Until they're 18, because that's what they consider an adult.
I think there's some place, I think in Canada, where I think they'll have like a similar thing with like child protective services. They'll come in and they'll take your kid if you don't give them the surgery. Like they're that's what they're trying to push,
Really?
bro. That's what they're trying to push, like entirely. They're trying to stop recording again, but they're trying to take your kids away from you straight up. And that's not just me. That's not just me making conspiracy theories.
with your kids.
That's not me making up a conspiracy theory. There was literally that one video that came out. People, say it's a parody, say it's satire, all you want, but it's exactly what they're trying to do. There was a video of a gay choir, and they came out and they're like, yeah, we're coming for your kids, straight up. There's straight up a video. They made like a song, and they're singing, yeah, like, we're coming for your kids. There's a whole song about it.
No way.
Straight up. And like, say what you want. Like, well, it's just a joke. That's what they're doing, though. And was he lying when he said that? No, that's exactly what they're doing. People, I hate when they do that, because like that's the strategy I feel like that they take too, where they'll tell you exactly what they're doing in a form of a joke, so people don't believe it. And I feel like they do that shit a lot with like so many things, where people just see that they go, wow, you actually believe it? It was obviously just satire. It was obviously just a joke. But was he lying? They're actually coming for your kids. They're actually doing that shit. They're actually trying to show that shit to little kids. It wasn't actually like they might have presented it like it was a joke, but that's actually what they're doing. So laugh along as your kids get corrupted. I just think it's fucked.
That's why a lot of people are saying don't let your kids watch certain shows that are kid shows, because those itself are trying to, like, they teach your kids to do bad as well.
Yeah.
Whatever you show your kids, whatever you, I mean, I'm not a parent yet, but when I do become a parent, like, you don't, like, I wouldn't want to show my kids, like, what is called, like, things that I don't want them to see, because, like, it corrupts their mind. Like, it's just, it's not good for their mind, and, like, it teaches them to be in bad behaviors as well, because if the shows them being in bad behaviors, then...
Here's the thing, is like, I'm not against, like, for example, the Blue's Clues episode where there's like a drag queen parade. If you're a grown-ass adult and you want to be a drag queen, there's a free country. Yeah, bro. That's just fucked up.
Recently, like the new Blue's Clues?
It's pretty old.
Oh.
But it was the new Blue's Clues. But it's been like a while now. Here's the thing. If you're a grown-ass adult, we live in a free country. You go ahead and you be a drag queen. That's your fucking thing. You live your life. But there's no reason you should be showing that shit to little kids. There's no reason a little kid should have to know what the drag queen is. Like, eventually they can grow up and learn about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see.
But more than anything, I think, and I kind of came up with this analogy, is I hate that the leftist mentality of like showing people to respect people and like raising kids to show respect for people. It's kind of like this mentality of like, let's say you're building a sculpture, right? I feel like their approach is kind of like building a clay sculpture, whereas like they grab different categories of people and they kind of like clump them together. And so they're like, black people, respect them, love them, show them, right? Whatever. Gay people, right? And so they're constantly categorizing people. They're okay, you gotta respect this, you gotta respect these people, you gotta show respect to these people. Whereas like I feel like their approach to it should be more like a Marvel statue, whereas like you start off with a block of like you respect everyone, right? And then you slowly start chipping away, like, okay, thieves, maybe they don't deserve respect. Start chipping that away. Rapist, maybe they don't deserve respect. Chip that away. Pedophiles, maybe they don't deserve respect. Chip that away. But I feel like the whole approach that the leftists take is completely backwards.
Instead of taking our history.
I just think it's completely backwards the way that like the Democrats go about it, whereas like they try to make sure that everyone's included, so they split everyone up into categories and they're like, okay, make sure black people are included, make sure gay people are included, make sure women are included. Whereas like the approach should be everyone's included, respect everyone equally, and then start excluding people that don't deserve respect. And if you teach people that, then you don't have to teach them about sexuality at a young age, because that's the whole reason that they give, where it's like, well, we have to teach them about gay people, that gay people exist, so they can respect gay people from a young age. You just teach everyone to respect everyone, and that's that.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, everybody nowadays growing up don't have respect for anybody, for older people now.
Yeah.
A lot of younger kids now have no respect for their old,
And
for
I feel
elders.
like part of that is the reason that I'm giving. It's like, no one says to respect your parents, so they don't.
It's always respect your elders, because that's the saying, because it's true. You gotta respect your elders. People that are older than you know more than you, and sometimes it's not that it's a matter of respect, because like at the time, like they gotta respect you as well. If they respect you, then why are you gonna disrespect them? Especially this comes with your parents, because a lot of people disrespect their parents, and like I feel like at the times, I don't know, it's just it goes ways because of how people were raised and all that. But at the end of the day, I feel like you should respect anybody, except
That's what we were getting to. Yeah, have accepted that you start, but that's the idea. Is that you start with respect everyone, and then you put exceptions. Where it's like, okay, maybe a rapist, they don't deserve respect. You kind of cut that out. Thieves, okay, maybe they don't deserve respect, but you start with that basis of like respect everyone first, and then you start choosing, instead of like the other approach was like pick and choose who you're gonna give respect to, because then you end up leaving people out. You're always gonna end up leaving someone out like that. And
would you be able to talk to them knowing that they did that?
who?
Like either rape someone or
I'd be able to talk to them, but
or like did like pedophilia,
pedophile, I'd be able to talk to them.
Yeah, without losing your control.
It depends what we got into. It depends where the conversation went. I can't promise that.
Okay.
Because yeah, I've seen some fucked up shit. Because I've seen interviews with them, and it's like, as long like I can talk to them, but I've seen some motherfuckers that are just sick pieces of shit. Well, they'll get into the like, I have no regrets, and they'll like start saying like some fucked up details. Yeah, like I would probably lose my shit at that point. I'd probably lose my shit at that point. But it depends the person, you know? Like, if they're, like, not a sick piece of... I mean, they're a sick piece of shit regardless. But, like, if they're not, like, really, really just, like, digging their heels into it and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna just fucking dive like a fucking full-on piece of shit.
The reason why I say that is because going, I guess, back to, like, faith or religion or whatever, that, like, technically we can't judge them for what they've done. The only person that can judge them is God.
Yeah.
And like we technically, they might have done all that stuff, but like we said, they lost our respect. We don't respect them. We don't actually do whatever. But I don't know. But at the same time, like I know I wouldn't want to respect them, but like it's weird when it comes with like faith.
It depends, like I said though, because like sometimes, because I've seen a lot of those videos, like catching predator type videos, and sometimes they'll immediately, they know they fucked up, and they immediately they're like, I'm sorry, I know I fucked up, and they're like, okay. Like, if they're like that, I feel like I'd be more open to talk to them, because I feel like they're in a position where like they might be able to be saved, you know, whereas like maybe they can repent and they can turn their life together. If they're a sick piece of shit, then you're like, nah, fuck you. I would probably lose my shit with them.
Yeah. I feel like that by then it's more like bad spirits.
I think that's the way that you get them to change their ways, though, is like you make them learn like that's not okay, one way or another. Like, and
that's by scaring them too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, shit, if you don't want to do it willingly, you're gonna learn to change by force. Like, we can't have that shit in our society.
Fuck no. Because then it just creates like fear and like not trust.
I'm gonna be honest with you. And
this is the Blue Clues I remember.
This might get us kicked off of YouTube, but we say that about every episode. But this one, like, I'm straight up encouraging violence, I guess. I think we should bring back public executions, straight up. Like, I think we should bring back public executions where we all get together. Imagine you just get together at your town center, like right in front of the tropical smoothie or some shit. Pull up right in front of the Sweet Frog, and you just have a guillotine, and you're like, oh, this motherfucker, this fucking serial rapist, he been raping a bunch of little kids, and you have that guillotine, you just chop his head off right there. Everyone's watching right in front of your Sweet Frog, your local McDonald's. Everyone's just gathered together to watch that shit. Like, I feel like that shit would definitely stop people from doing shit like that. You know, your mom, your sister, your whole family's gonna see you.
I wouldn't agree to that.
I'm with that shit. I don't care.
I'm not with that.
I think some people deserve that, straight up.
They deserve their punishment, but I wouldn't. They have their punishment coming, but
I'm with that. I don't care. Because here's the
I would
thing.
not
Here's
be with
the
that.
reason why I think the death penalty should exist.
death penalty should exist. But I feel like
Not publicly.
Yeah.
You said make it private at least. No, they don't deserve that dignity. I don't think. Some people.
some people will say shit and be like, yeah, and like say like they'll go.
And here's the thing, especially if it's like a really high up elite, like some like Jeffrey Epstein. I think like publicly we would have to see it to be sure that he's dead.
That yes.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like
For
some people,
something like that, I feel like yeah, but like for other shit, I don't know.
I don't know. Some people I think definitely deserve it. Mostly in those.
It would have to be the chopped off the head. I can't say anything else like a shooting pool like that.
Nah.
I can't. It has to
Well,
be.
technically, some people like.
Well, would it be like?
People say firing squad is the most humane, supposedly. Whereas like people, they line up and they all just shoot at you because that kills them pretty quick. That's supposedly.
I feel like that would be more. I feel like that I can see that.
I just think. Call me fucking psycho, but I think we should publicly like that, because here's the thing. It's been proven that public humiliation, or just humiliation in general, is a great punishment in terms of like deterring people from wanting to do shit like that. Like if you publicly humiliate the fuck out of them, that makes a good example out of everyone. No one's ever gonna want to do shit like that. Now I'm not gonna go full psycho and be like.
I don't agree with that because that's what the social media does right now. For famous people, they do public humiliation just for them to even get more famous, and that still pushes an agenda as well.
Yeah, but it's all. I think it's all about the.
You gotta think about it.
The light that you portray them in.
But you gotta think about it how it is nowadays too. How the media it is, and if we do executions, how that go. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it'll cause chaos.
There's already chaos.
There already is chaos, but I feel like this.
But here's where I think the public execution thing. I feel like if we did that, it would have to be very selective. Like I think we'd have to say that mostly for like corrupt politicians and people involved in like Epstein level of crime, whereas like you're just like an extreme piece of shit. Like I don't think we would be I don't think we should be out here publicly executing. Like maybe that was a bit of an exaggeration. Like executing like a rapist.
Yeah.
But like I think we should save that shit for like the really fucked up people that are doing like the most fucked up heinous crimes. To be honest, I stand by that. Just because.
Did they find his body, Jeffrey Epstein? And if they did find his body dead there, was there pictures?
I don't know. I haven't seen pictures of his dead body. But part of me doesn't think that he's dead. Part of me thinks he might have just gone out.
I can believe that too.
Because the camera stopped working, I think, around the time that he died.
No way.
Yeah.
How? See, that's what we're saying.
Brother,
what's the convenience of all that stuff happening? It's no, that's all
coincidence.
like the coincidence, yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like this world is run by pedophiles, straight up.
Not even like pedophiles, but like human traffickers.
Well, it's even worse than pedophile. Pedophile is like the tip of the iceberg.
It really is.
Look into it and you realize like these are straight up devil worshippers, the satanic people, straight up. You don't even have to believe in spirituality to see what they're doing is straight up satanic. Like you see them dressing up with horns and you see them making actual sacrifices. That's what the adrenochrome is. They're actually sacrificing people to drink their blood. You don't have to be spiritual to see that that's satanic rituals.
That's why supposedly, but this is what I've heard with the Amazon. Because in the Amazon, there's tribes that what is called that still like they kill. Like if you go on their land, they'll kill you. There's some that there's wars where other tribes fight. They only do this, and it shows like it shows too. It's like it's spiritual, because they're cannabis. They eat people. So what they do is sometimes when it's like their time, or when it's the time when they got into a war, they'll get, supposedly what they do is they'll get one of the people they killed from the war and they'll eat him, so it doesn't bring any bad spirits.
Bro, I'm telling you, 100%. Drinking blood and like eating humans, there's a spiritual aspect to it, and
I wonder how that is.
I agree that like maybe not everyone believes in that shit, but if you don't want to look at the spiritual aspect of it, look at the chemical aspect of it, like the adrenochrome, like the hormones that come with the blood. That shit gives people high, and I don't know what it does to you. I've never fucking experienced it, obviously, but it must do something because the people that do it, they chase the fuck out of that drug. That's why they're sneaking off into other islands. That's why they're doing all this fucked up shit.
And if the slaves are still, because if slaves and all that, like, because they're still colonies, whatever it is, well, I don't know, tribes that have slaves, they use that as for an advantage because they just go to that country and be like, yeah, I have my own. These are my slaves. They still, because it's technically still, who said it was, did they ever ban it in the world? No, right? It was just in the U.S. that they banned slavery, right?
Slavery?
Was that world government? No, right? Because there's no.
No.
So.
I think other countries have it banned, but there's still some places where it's not. So, I think, like I've said before, as long as it exists in one country, to the elite, it doesn't matter. They'll just send all their work to that country. That's why everything comes from China, because China allows slaves. So even if it's illegal here in the United States, that's why everyone just sends everything to China. Like, as long as it's legal in any country in the world, the elites are just gonna send their shit to them, and have that shit done by their slaves over there. That's why, in order to like really end slavery, you would have to end it in every single country. And the only way you could do that is by giving power to a world government. Realistically, we can't end slavery. As fucked up as that sounds.
Realistically, we can't do one world government.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because if you do a one world government, you gave the power to the Illuminati, and we can't do that just to end slavery. Like, slavery, as fucked as it is, the one world government and Illuminati taking over is much worse, because that ends up everyone ends. Everyone's going to be a slave. Like, even though one world government could end slavery, that's not what would happen. They would just make everyone slaves. That's what realistically, that's what would happen. And that's kind of what Amazon wants. That's because a lot of people like make that connection where like corporations, big companies, they're essentially just parallel governments at this point. Whereas like because they have so much money, where they're able to influence the government, they're able to pay them off. They'll pay off politicians to vote in their favor to make laws that help them.
Yeah.
To the point where like they're basically their own government.
This is what I told you. I told you about this because of the whole, I think it was the amendments where a bill that he passed where, I think during the Martin Luther and all that, where I think it was, I don't know what it was, but it was, I think where they passed something in the 1900s or the beginning of the 1800s. It was a bill that what is called pretty much took away where anybody like corporates or whatever can donate money to the thing. The politicians would have to find the money their own way, and they would have to fund it themselves pretty much.
Yeah.
But now that it got like into like 2008 or like the early 1990s, they passed another bill pretty much taking that out. And so now that's why you see like corporates and like others, like a lot of donors and everything like that, because they're the ones like pretty much running the politics.
It's an iffy topic in my opinion, because I'm not against corporations donating money, just because I know campaigns are expensive, just because politicians have to like actually go around the country to have, events so people actually know who you are as a politician. So it gets expensive.
Sponsors.
Yeah, like it gets expensive as fuck. So I'm not against like companies being able to donate. What I'm against is them being able to influence, which unfortunately comes with the ability to donate.
Because they're not gonna donate if they can't do.
Well, so
that's what I'm saying. It's better to get sponsors.
Yeah.
Because if you get sponsors, you'd be like, I got sponsored by this. It's a drink or it's something like that. They're not
So,
making.
ultimately, I think it doesn't, like, it's one of those things where it's like you can't really get rid of it because it's either like someone like you kind of have to have donations to be able to have a campaign, I feel like. And either you're going to donate as a company or the CEO is going to donate or some shit. Like, regardless, like, someone with a fuck ton of money is going to donate and they're going to have influence on the politician. So for me, that whole topic is really iffy.
Huh.
I agree with the bill. Don't get me wrong. Like, ideally, we wouldn't have companies paying for them and influencing them. But I have seen realistically too how expensive campaigns are, and that's the only reason why Trump was so popular. I feel with the people was because he had his own money, where he was able to fund most of it. So he wasn't.
There was an interview going
He
where
wasn't influenced as much because he was paying for his own shit with his own money. If we can get people like that already have money into politics that they can just afford their own shit, but that's unrealistic, really. Maybe Vivek Ramaswamy. He's pretty.
I feel like it's not impossible.
It's not possible, but
what it's called
it's
because
unlikely.
because you had to run for president, you have to be 35 years old and above, and like live here for so certain amount. But okay,
I think you have to be born here. You have to be a US born,
you have to be born here.
which makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, but pretty much, there's an interview where Trump was saying like everybody that were booing Trump is that they was during like for the campaign or whatever, like people were booing him because he said something. He's like, oh, be quiet. They told me in the beginning like the only people that are gonna be here are like all the donors and like people that are funding this. So like it's not even people that are like actually like I guess supporters or anything like that. It's just people that donated. So of course none of them like Trump. So why?
Yeah.
They're gonna boo him.
Yeah.
But a lot of things is, I feel like I said, like it's scripted. A lot of stuff is scripted too.
Yeah. Straight up. A lot of this shit.
Because think about it, if they're getting people to like so much Trump, because there's been a prediction of this. This is conspiracy now. We're going into conspiracy. But what is called? Because even if you're gonna say like this too, they'll say this. The Simpsons predicted it. But what is called? Pretty much like Donald Trump dying. And it's because what like the whole script could be is, oh, people get everybody to like Trump again. And then once everybody likes Trump, and then Trump before either he does get elected or before the election he gets killed, it's gonna cause a chaos probably. It could cause chaos. Like it could cause chaos just because like now that he died, like it's the person that was representing. He's pretty much the whole Martin Luther King Jr.'s that he had a dream. He had someone. And this is where he kind of regret what he did do what he did is because he made himself a target, and he regretted it because he got killed, and now he doesn't have like an actual representation or someone to stay there to represent him or represent the thing that he wanted, which was pretty much for all of us to like love one another, like actually like love humankind. Yeah, see each other for our characters, not by like our skin and everything. And same thing with like Trump. Like luckily a lot of people got inspired by Trump, so I feel like he kind of would leave a legacy. But like,
I think a piece of truth that a lot of people are not ready to hear is that if Martin Luther was here today, he would be a Republican. I don't think a lot of people are ready to hear that, but I think Republicans care more about your character than Democrats, because Democrats focus so much on your race that they don't care about your character. And if you need proof for that, look at how they wanted to put a black justice in the Supreme Court. What was her name?
who?
I don't remember. Something Jackson. I think her last name was Jackson. But the point is, they're from the beginning, they were just saying we want a black lady in there. That's all they care about is identities. It's just about having a black lady in there because representation.
Man, if it's a black lady, I don't mind it being a black lady, but actually make it a good black.
But that doesn't make sense. Like, if you're gonna be focusing on character, you should be focusing on someone that's qualified. It doesn't matter what the fuck they look like. It should be some.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
If it's,
I agree. Like, it shouldn't be like you shouldn't care about.
this is.
You shouldn't care about what someone else is thinking. Like, it's just
This is.
if they're qualified for the job, or if they're qualified, just look for the people that are actually qualified for what they're doing. Make actually the job go well.
This is why Trump has a lot of black supporters, because it's not about the color of your skin. It's about who's actually looking out for you. And it's like, would you rather have one of your own people that's gonna take advantage of you? Obama didn't do anything for black people. Trump did more for black people than Obama did.
But you know
All Obama did was divide the country racially, to be honest. And that's why I think, like, would you rather have someone that's going to be your own people, but they're not actually looking out for you, or would you rather have someone that's a completely different person? It might not seem like you have anything in common, but this dude's actually looking out for you. It's like, that's what Martin Luther King Jr. was actually advocating for. Was like, actually pay attention to what the person is like. Don't focus on their identity and what they look like. What they look like physically is what they actually act like.
The thing is, it's because Trump cares about the American people.
He cares about everyone, not just like.
Yeah, he cares about everybody, but I'm talking about for
Americans, yeah.
exactly. He cares about the American people. American people means anybody that was born in America. Doesn't matter about your race, your color, your skin.
He doesn't categorize.
He
people
cares because you're a human. You know, it's the same thing as what is called when people were like the interviewers. He was doing an interview with this one lady. He's like, who do you want the war to? Who do you want to win the war? Ukraine or Russia? He's like, I just want people to stop dying.
Yeah.
He's like, so are you saying you want Russia to win, or are you saying you want Ukraine to win? He's like, I want people to stop dying. Like they're like, because it's
they
true.
Want this war so bad, bro.
It's like, it's true though. Like of course, like because he said, like, if I became president, I'll have that war done like this.
They're hiding so much about the war, to be honest. But they're the ones pushing it, the Democrats mostly, and not just the Democrats. There's a lot of Republicans too.
I mean, Biden's the one.
But I'm gonna be honest with you.
We sent the billions of dollars.
This is some
to Ukraine and Russia.
I'm telling you, this is some Illuminati shit. That's why even Putin has made comments about it, where he's trying to fight against the New World Order, against the Freemasons, Illuminati. And I'm not saying that I agree with Russia, with Putin or anything like that. But
do you agree to disagree?
He's reacting to what we're doing, which is trying to take over the world, and essentially with this New World Order. And like Putin is wrong, but we're also wrong. We're using Ukraine as a puppet, essentially. That's what we're doing right now.
Excuse me.
And I'm pretty sure we're funding both sides of the war right now.
I think so, maybe. But that's crazy because it got to the point where our government got so corrupted that, like, if you really think about it, other countries aren't getting used how we are getting used, just because if you say, like, it only takes one person to get corrupted and for them to build up. And what other best country would they want to do that is the U.S., because why would they want to do that with any other countries?
Oh, 100%.
And like the exactly. So like, if anything, we, like I said, we low key, if I were to inspire, I'm not saying, like, if we were, I would say that we would have to do a revolution against the actual government. Not so we're going against our people, but to go against the actual government. Because like the government, like I've been saying, is corrupt. And the only way to end the corruption is by getting rid of it.
You know what's crazy is, if you actually look at the history of the Republican Party, they actually started as the Whigs, which was a combination of, I don't remember exactly what other party. It was another party and a party called the Anti-Masonic Party. A party that was fighting against the Freemasons. That's what the whole party was about. It was about fighting the influence of the Freemasons, who are trying to take over the world. Many years ago, this was before the Republican Party was founded. And I think part of that Republican Party is still alive. And I think, to be honest, that's to be honest the reason why I believe that the Republicans are more against this whole New World Order than Democrats in general, is because that part of us is still in that party. That being said, I agree 100% that the United States is the #1 target of the Illuminati. Why? I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast, but I've talked about this with Diana before. United States as a country, simply by existing, just by existing, we represent freedom. And they can't have a new world order, a one world government where they have full control of everything if this big country that represents freedom exists freely. I think as long as this country represents freedom, there's always gonna be like a beacon of hope for people to fight the corruption of the world government. And I feel like that's why they're so desperate to make this country collapse and make it fall, is because of that. I feel like as long as we have this big beacon of hope that, like, we can have freedom, because that's essentially what it was when it first started. And I think, to be honest, if we really go back into it, maybe George Washington was fighting against the Freemasons to begin with, or some shit like that. Like, maybe the country started against that to begin with, against the whole world government, because if that's essentially what this country started at, was actual freedom.
Because technically he wasn't the first president, but he was the first president. I guess I forgot what it was. The first president for something that actually.
He was the first, I guess, actual president, because I think that before that,
it was like 26.
There was like parliament. It was like different types of government. So like he was the first president of this official government now. Like once we actually figured out a real system. But yeah, we actually did have presidents before him.
But I can see him. I can see that happening. Where remember they're the ones who wrote the Constitution.
They knew what they were writing too. Like if you actually look at that shit, they write the second Amendment. A lot of people try to write it off as just be like, oh, this is just for hunting. They knew what they were talking about. They specifically said people should have the right to have the same level of weapons as the government. So the government had cannons. You were allowed to own a cannon. Technically, we should be allowed to own nukes. And I'm not saying I agree with all of that, but if you interpret the Second Amendment how it is, we should have nukes technically. I'm not saying we should go like that far.
Even if you do, they'll arrest you.
Well, yeah, but like constitutionally, like we should be allowed to have the same power that the government holds. But because the whole idea was to be able to fight back against a corrupt government.
And then that's the thing where it's so corrupt because they pass so much bills and everything like that, where even if it does say that, the amendments, there's so much bills that like try to like push it where even if you do go by that, they'll still punish you because they added this and now you pretty much, I guess, broke this. Yeah, you still got this, but you broke this. That's part of this now. Now you're going to jail.
That's why they try to make it like, and just try to add so many so much confusion, I guess. It's like,
because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like some cops and everything, they don't even know the laws.
Yeah, that's facts.
And it kind of sucks.
I feel like this should be tested every year, straight out. For their specific counties and state, they have to know like all their local laws. If you're a cop, that should 100% be a requirement to know your local laws. And there's some cops that don't. There's some cops that don't even know constitutional, like federal laws.
Yeah, that's the main one. First learn
like,
those.
How the fuck you don't know that shit?
First learn those and then learn the rest.
But yeah, I think we can start wrapping up. It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Still uploading the video.
Yeah, I told you. I see like YouTube loads up quicker.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do. Look, it's gonna upload here, but then it's still gonna take a while after, because it has like another other process.
It uploads and then it renders, I think.
Yeah, that shit still takes a while.
Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in to our Alex Jones rants.
Yeah. Alex Jones.
We gonna be the next Alex Jones. Straight up. Nah.
We're just. I mean, it's just we're talking about how we feel and
I
like
just don't
how.
want to end up getting sued. Like he got sued for a fuck ton of money because he was talking about the shooting that happened.
Which one?
Columbine shooting. It was like one of the first.
School shootings.
Yeah, it was like one of the first like really big.
How he said it was set up because like the FBI and
so
all
apparently,
that.
yeah, he said it was set up, and then a lot of people. And honestly, I think FBI might have been involved with this. Call me a crazy conspiracy theorist, but at this point, I don't care. I don't trust the FBI at all. I have zero trust for them. I think they might have been involved with that shit. Because a lot of people, what would happen is they started harassing the families because they're like, oh, this fake. And they were accusing them of faking the death of the kids. That's not what he said. He was saying the FBI might have actually been involved with helping the kids plan this shit. We know this that the FBI has done this shit before. I mean, shit, we just talked about it before with the Governor Whitmore plot where they're trying to kidnap. We know the FBI tries to set
July,
people up. January
6th. Yeah.
January 6th. Like, we know the FBI tries to trick people into committing these mass events. I don't want. It's not even just mass shootings. It's this kidnapping now, a riot. We know they try to influence people into doing that shit. Maybe Alex Jones might have been right. Who knows? Maybe the FBI was involved behind that. I don't know. But that's not why he ended up getting sued. He ended up getting sued because a lot of people were harassing the parents. He wasn't saying to harass the parents. I think the FBI was involved with that, to be honest. I think they were trying to like make him seem like a more bad guy than he really was. All he was saying was like maybe the FBI was involved. And so they try to make him seem like the bad guy, make it seem like, oh, like these deaths were fake. He never said the deaths were fake.
Did he say he got sued? He got sued by the parents, the family?
That's what they're saying, because they're trying to make it seem like he was saying that the deaths were fake. He never said the deaths were fake. The deaths were real. That does not mean that the FBI was not involved.
Because there's a whole point where the people were saying that what the FBI could do is they pick the kids that are like
they pick the
kids that are devious, or they hate, or that like you see that they're bullying, or they like mentally they're not right, or they're like aggressive. They'll go and like talk to them, convince them, say like do this, and then show them, teach them, and then like when it comes to the time, because if this is what people will say, like parents be like they don't like shooting games for kids because shooting games at the end of the day can like but I'm not saying, but like like people like, so that with people like the FBI like teaching them and all this, it just shows them, and they go in there like, all right.
I think the FBI is more involved than the kids, 100%. I think they have more to blame. I'm gonna have to look this up.
I don't know,
because there was an actual case. There was an actual case where the guy was instructed. I think it was by the CIA or the FBI. I think I talked about it on the podcast too before. A guy, he blew up. I think it was a school. He made a bomb. They taught him step by step how to make that bomb.
It was last podcast.
He didn't know how to do it. He didn't know how to make it. They taught him how to make that shit.
Yeah.
They told him step by step how to do it, how to try to get away with it, how to sneak the bomb in, how to blow it. They gave him step by step instructions on how to do it. I'm gonna have to look that case up because I swear that shit actually happened. I'm gonna have to look up that case. It's gonna be hard as fuck to find, I'm sure, because all the search engines are gonna hide it. But I'm gonna fucking find that shit. I'm telling you, the government is shady as fuck. Don't trust them. And with that, we're signing off. It's been a great episode. Stay vigilant.
We out. Thank you for watching.
Attention.
Thank you for listening. We out. Peace.